And John Heilemann is managing editor of Bloomberg Politics and co-host of The Circus on Showtime, a division of CBS. Good morning.
Good morning, guys.
Morning, guys.
Good to have you here. We want to get to the ratings in a moment. I mean, the polls in a moment, but
Our ratings are very good, though.
Oh, boy.
Just to mention it.
That's right.
Paging Dr. Freud.
They're tremendous. We are the fastest growing morning show. They're tremendous. They've been huge.
we'll get to polls in a moment. Is all this leaks from WikiLeaks about the Clintons and money and Bill Clinton's speeches having an impact?
I don't look. I mean, if you looked at the polling, which you said we get to in a moment, the answer to that question is no, in the sense that I think for a lot of voters, all of this stuff feels like inside baseball to them, and it's not stuff that affects the real lives of real people.
And doesn't feel like something they already knew.
And I think it feels it's confirming suspicions that people had that these operations, that the Clinton Foundation was at the nexus of charitable donations, personal money making on behalf of Bill Clinton, that it's all like a little seedy. And certainly this Doug Band email lays out in detail the extent to which and the aggressiveness to which with which they brought to bear on the commingling of the doing of good works and the enrichment of the former president.
So is this race getting tighter, and why?
I don't think the race is getting appreciably tighter. It's the case that she has a much bigger lead at the national level than she does in the battleground states. Not surprisingly, they're called battleground states for a reason. They're tight. And in most of the country, all they hear is the national news about how terrible Donald Trump is. In the battleground states, Donald Trump goes to those states. He has advertising on the air. He gets a little bit better coverage in places where he goes. And so the race is a little closer. But again, as I say to a boring degree on this show, he's never been ahead in the race. He's not ahead in the race now. And if you look at the battleground tracking poll, she's over 270 by a healthy amount right now. And that still has states like Florida, Ohio, North Carolina as toss-ups. Those are all states that she could win. And even if he does win them, he's still short.
We already have nearly 13 million people have already cast their ballots.
Yes, that's
We're
right.
going to have 40% of the electorate will have cast their ballots before November 8th.
We
can get some really good signs about how the election is going by looking at these early vote, which I've been looking at. Florida and North Carolina, where traditionally Republicans do well on the absentee vote. But with early voting, the Democrats have pulled even, sometimes slight ahead even in North Carolina.
Right. We always say when we are talking about the election, we say if the election were held today, and people say, well, it's not held today. There's still time between now and Election Day.
Well, actually,
in this case, you flip it around the other way and you say, well, the election's actually has already been being held for some period of time. And this is the place where when we talk about why does the ground game matter? It matters because the Clinton superiority on the ground is giving her an advantage in terms of banking those early votes.
Do you see anything that Donald Trump can do in these closing days to turn it around? Anything?
I don't like to give candidates advice, and so I don't imagine that you have to be a big change for this race to get off its current course.
All right.
John Heilemann, always good to see you. Thank you for bringing your enthusiasm.
You guys are delightful.
We say
Reliably,
the same thing about
reliably delightful.
Did you know about our ratings?
Charlie has occasionally mentioned them to me.
Thank you. Thank you, John.
Yeah, that's Charlie.
All right, CBS News will bring you the results of the election as they come in, and our Election Day coverage begins Tuesday, November 8th at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 Central right here on CBS, and you can watch all day our streaming network, CBSN.